Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to introduce myself. My name is Maria Ulfa. I'm from University of Muhammadiyah Aceh, Banda Aceh, Indonesia, and also I am student PhD at University of Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Today I want to presentation about my research. The title is Improving Early Literacy Skill in Dysleksia Children through the VAKTA method. Dysleksia, the definition of dysleksia is difficulty of about reading, about walking, writing, and difficulty in meaning or recognizing the structure of word. And dysleksia is the problem about the memorize about alphabet. And Olivia mentioned have 5 problems scope area in dyslexia children. The first, the children dyslexia, the mixing alphabet or word with same speech. The example B and D, P and K. And the number 2, the dyslexia children have problem with linear sequences such as alphabet, schedule, sentences, and list of instruction. And Olivia also mentioned about the third problem with dyslexia children. They have problem with the short memories. And dyslexia children also problem with coordination related to motion coordination with the pronunciation of sentences. And the last problem with dyslexia children, they have problem in reading and writing. So every dyslexia children certainly has unique characteristic, so that not all of these problems are shared by dyslexia, but generally suffer have more than one category of problem. And in this research, I use a method experiment with single subject research. I have one subject. The subject is a boy. The age is 5 years age. And then I also with the VAKTA method is the treatment with this experiment research. I use a baseline, 2 baseline. The first baseline, the baseline 1 is the condition of the subject to be measured, and the subject it is normal condition, has not received the treatment VAKTA method. And then the subject I give the treatment 3 months, and every day the subject the study with VAKTA method every day 10 until 30 minutes every day. And then after the subject using the VAKTA method, we give the baseline 2. The baseline 2 is the condition to the subject to be measured where the subject has received the treatment VAKTA. Okay, the result of this research, we have a baseline data about reading using VAKTA method. the result is I have used 4 category about the baseline. The first category, I have a letter or alphabet. I give 10 question. The baseline 1, the subject is only able to recognize two alphabet out of 10 alphabet given, and after the subject using VAKTA method, the baseline 2, the subject able to recognize 4 alphabet or letter, then 10 letter given. And the second category, I have vocabulary. The subject before using VAKTA method just recognize four vocabulary word from 10 given, and after the subject using VAKTA method, the subject able to recognize 8 vocabulary word out of 10 given. And the third category, I have nouns. Yes, I have noun. The baseline 1, the subject is able to recognize 1 noun before the subject using the VAKTA method, and after the subject using VAKTA method, the subject can recognize 5 nouns from 10 given. And the last category, I have pronunciation. The subject I give the pronunciation. The subject is able to properly pronunciation just 2 vocabulary before the subject using VAKTA method, and so after the subject using VAKTA method, they can able to properly pronunciation more than 2 until 5 vocabulary word out of the 10 given. And this result, I have a picture when I take the data and when I give the experiment. The subject to enjoy reading a book with this method, because this method I give with playing and playing a game. Okay, the result, the resume, and this method, the VAKTA method, the resume is the VAKTA methods very suitable to be give the early children dyslexia, because this method makes easy to learn to read. This can be seen from the progress achieved in mastering letter, progress in vocabulary, and progress when the children can remember alphabet. Children with dyslexia also can easily remember letter, word, and then the object, pronunciation, and integrated method in this VAKTA for dyslexia children. And the experience a small increase in vocabulary continue observation to with dyslexia children, interviewing and repetition material at home with the parent, with the teacher, can progress dyslexia children can memorize that their activity to read, and then I have to be a follow-up to suggestion that may be delivered to researcher next. Between other, target module need to be adjust to the subject's condition and to increase the number of subject. Maybe the subject not one subject, maybe two subject or more than a subject. And the to follow up is the main focus is more the repetition process, preferable in the training process, the provision of pictorial more than card, picture must be repeated at home and outside school maybe. And then that's all my presentation about my research. I have this research can improve the research. Thank you. That's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.